All right, guys. So welcome back to Late Night Level Up, the nerd news and smart reviews. We're going to talk about Invincible. It's a cartoon that's based off of a comic book that came out on Image. So Image Comics, man, when Image Comics came out, I was like, I was like super in my comic zone right then,
Mhm.
um, and I was like, I remember thinking that I was like. Did I like imagine if you could travel, like I feel like for people that grew up when like X-Men and Fantastic Four and Hulk and all those things were like coming out, or God, Superman and Batman, like if you were alive during those times and could travel back in time and be like, go to the store and spend 5 cents on a comic book or whatever, and it's going to be worth millions of dollars one day,
Yeah.
and then even the Marvel stuff isn't that high, but it's it's up there too. So all these awesome artists, all the best artists, honestly, I feel like of Marvel at the time left, went to start Image Comics. And um I remember at that time, because I had my little collection of stuff that was worth 30-40 dollars or whatever at the time, that I'm like, one of these days it's gonna be worth $100,000. First appearance of Gambit, first appearance of Wolverine, which are, I think they're both probably what I paid for them now or whatever. But
Mhm.
yeah, so I'm thinking, okay, Image Comics though, I was like, I'm gonna get all the first editions of all the, Spawn, Savage Dragon, Wildcats, Death Blow, Wetworks. There was all these awesome comics coming out, and then they had their little run with that, and then that did what it did, and then they decided to do like this new like superhero type world launch, I guess, and that Invincible was kind of like supposed to be, I think, like their flagship
Form.
thing that they came out with. Like that was supposed to be like a new part of Image that they were trying to get everybody excited about, and the eye on him and on his suit looks like the eye of on Image, like Image's logo eye or whatever, a little bit. So I was like, was he Image guy? But yeah, so they that comic had got some. That was definitely one of the ones that, when I remember when it came out, Steve, who we had on the show at Third Eye, was like, bro, you got to read this shit. It's
Mhm.
really good. And I read a little bit of it, and but all that aside, super excited that they decided to do an animated version of it. I think we've talked about this 1,000 times. Obviously, I always would be hype about a live action. Um, but this one's got some action in it that I think's probably saved them a lot of money to do it animated, for
Right.
sure.
Animated for sure.
Got people
Yes.
flying, got people doing a lot of other crazy things.
The variety of things that they're fighting in
Yeah,
this
yeah,
series,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
super expansive.
yeah.
We got giant kaiju's,
Uh huh.
apparently dragons,
Yep.
alien invasions. Like they were we're pulling out a lot of different enemies for it.
Yeah, this
Um,
planet's like got beef. Like there's
yeah,
like it's got that one alien race that just keeps popping up in the city, just trying to wreck shit over and
yeah,
over again, and like
Flaxians or whatever.
yeah,
Oh man, I just that was always that the time different things that they come through, because like
yeah,
their invasions are frequent for what it appears like in Earth, but
right.
what's really happened is like it's a different like years on the
Yeah.
other end of it.
They
So
go back and reevaluate and
and
get
it's like, all
better and
right,
come
and
back
then we come
stronger.
back stronger, and like it's been 2 days. Like what? And I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Which is which is hilarious too, because then I'm like, man, if they have that kind of technology, they're probably way advanced over us anyways. What the hell do they even want this planet for anyway?
what? Like just have a conversation with me. Let's
Yeah,
do
they're just
that.
like, we just want to go somewhere and just wreck them.
Yeah, having a conversation apparently is very valuable, depending on who you're fighting.
They keep getting stopped though, and it is that done by Robert Kirkman, who's a creator of The Walking Dead too. So this was before that, and I
It's also
guess
on Amazon Prime. I don't know if
Amazon
you
Prime. Yeah, if you
yeah,
guys
let you
aren't,
know where you guys
and it
can
has, so
go and watch
Amazon
it.
Prime, home of The Boys,
Yeah.
and it does have a little bit of a Boys vibe to it. In the sense that it's if you look at the trailer for it, you probably just be like, okay, this is like a superhero cartoon. You might
Mm.
even think it's for kids, but it's definitely adult themed. There's
Yes.
cussing and there's some other stuff in there that's more. It's an adult cartoon. This isn't
Yeah.
something for kids. So if you guys don't know, if you saw the trailer, you might make the wrong guess about what type of cartoon it is, but it's definitely
I
for adults.
kind of, I don't want to say like the main, I don't know if the main character is in high school or college at this point, but it looks like he deals with college level problems.
Yeah, but he is no, it is supposed to be high school though.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
It's
So,
supposed to be high school. Yeah, but you're right. It does seem kind of college-ish sometimes.
right.
I think the lockers is probably the only slight takeaway.
Yeah, going through there.
Really awesome voice actor cast. They got a lot of people, like too many people
Which,
to honestly even
yeah,
list.
I didn't. It was when like the next episode flaring tires when it showed up like Steve Ham.
Yoon from Steve Yoon. Are you talking about Steve Yoon from The Walking
No,
Dead
not
or
Steve
John
Yoon.
Hamm?
John Ham.
Oh
There we
yeah,
go.
John Hamm. Yeah, John Hamm's in it. Mark
Like,
Hamill, obviously Luke Skywalker.
it's,
J.K. Simmons is Omni Man. J.K. Simmons, everybody probably knows from the Spider-Man movies. I feel
yeah.
like with Tobey Maguire, and then obviously just reappeared in the last Spider-Man movie. He's been Commissioner Gordon
Yep.
in the
And
Snyderverse.
yeah,
Um,
he's
he's
finding his
uh
roles, man.
he's the man. I love J.K. Simmons. The first place I ever saw him was a show called Oz, which is a really fucked up show about prison and HBO. But he was one of the in a show full of what I would probably call a show full of villains. Like he stood out as a villain. To give you context, Seth Rogen made an appearance on there. Zazie Beetz, who was Domino in Deadpool 2. And I think a lot of people that watch Atlanta probably know Zazie. She's, um, one of the main characters from there. Walton Goggins, I always like him. He's always a
Yeah,
funny guy. Kind of came up on, well, he's been on a bunch of HBO
Justified,
shows
I
as
think is
yeah,
when I saw
Justified
him.
was
Yeah,
that was what I was trying to think of. Yep, Justified was where he kind of like really was like, damn,
yeah,
this
it's like,
he's a guy,
yeah. No, it was
Yeah.
for like my timeline for him was I think Justified is when I recognized him,
Mm-hmm.
and then I remember him in Shanghai Noon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then there was one other ones that he keeps popping up on in Quentin Tarantino's film
Yeah. Hateful Eight.
Hateful
Yeah.
Eight. Yeah,
Hateful
I
Eight.
was
Yeah.
just
He
like, okay,
definitely
no.
stood out in
Like at
that.
that point, I was like, anytime he's on screen, like I'm watching.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's one of those guys that's like, a couple of my favorite actors, Gary Oldman and Vincent D'Onofrio, are like can kind of like blend in and out of movies. And you're like, oh wait, oh shit, that's Gary Oldman,
Yeah.
or like, oh shit, that's Vincent D'Onofrio. He's one of those guys that's kind of like, oh wait a second, that's the fucking guy from the other show. Yeah, okay,
Ant-Man.
yeah, yeah, Ant Man, yeah, that's true. He had a show on HBO called Vice Principals with the guy who plays Kenny Powers. It's hilarious too.
Mm,
Definitely a good watch. If you like him, yeah, he's funny as shit. Yeah, and a ton more, man. There's too many
yeah.
to even list. I feel like it was
But
awesome.
those are the three episodes that came out.
Yep.
Are you pretty much going through just a little of the story, which I don't know. So what? Yeah, it's from the point of view of the son of the world's strongest superhero,
Hmm.
and not so much like what growing up with him is like, but like what that entails, when he starts getting his own powers
Yeah.
and like what type of responsibilities he's realizing that his father has, and a little bit of his home life. Like
Yeah.
it's just like a smidge in there,
Yep.
and I just I find it funny on the same part as how his mom reacts. He's like,
Yeah.
like dad got sucked away into another dimension. She's like, oh, so he's gonna miss dinner.
Yeah. He's gonna be
Like
late for dinner.
late for dinner, right?
Yeah. I was like, damn, he's not even, she was like, she knew for sure. Oh, he'll be here. He's just gonna be here a little late.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is confidence. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Stressing.
She's not worried about nothing. Yeah, and him trying to, yeah, obviously in the beginning waiting to see if he's even going to get powers. I guess they weren't sure at
Yeah.
first, and So yeah, that's a pretty cool. You know what's crazy is I feel like there's a lot of comics that deal with this type of storytelling
Mm,
superheroes now, and this was kind of like the originator of a lot of that. Like before, I'm pretty sure before like even some of the stuff that Mark Millar did that really gained the notoriety for like kind of flipping the superhero trope on its head a little bit to make it a little bit like
yeah.
a more like almost kind of taking it and putting it in a little bit more of a realistic world
Okay.
view
Hmm.
where you're like, oh shit, yeah, like I guess that would stuff like this would kind of be going on. So that's where I kind of draw that comparison a little bit to the boys. It's not the boys by far, but it's got that
Yeah.
you can tell they're kind of not parodying, not a parody of like Justice League, but it kind of is
Yeah.
too. You know,
Like,
they have characters that are similar, the Guardians of the Globe, and they
I
have all
think
the teams and stuff.
the biggest difference that I'll say, like for people who are saying that is, I feel like in the boys, it's more focused on the monetized corruption
Hmm.
of turning superheroes into like a job,
Yeah, that's true.
and
That's a good point.
kind of like how that entire world gets structured around money
Yep.
and corruption. While like, well, this one, it's not the same. You
No,
know, like it
that's
doesn't
definitely
seem like,
not doesn't play a part.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right about
So
that. Yeah.
uh I don't know, it's a little cleaner in that sense of it.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, definitely cleaner than the boys for sure. Um, but not without its violence. There's some.
Yeah.
It's an adult cartoon. Don't definitely not
Don't,
something I would.
yeah,
Don't
do
show it
not
to your
watch
kids
this. Yeah.
because you'll be like, oh, this is oh shit. Hold on, you be covering their.
Don't, and cover the eyes, and then eventually turns into leave the room, go do
Yeah,
something else.
yeah. Go watch some Disney stuff. But
So
yeah, so I definitely recommend it. I'm excited. I'm not sure if they're doing 3 episodes every week. When the boys originally came out on Amazon Prime, the first season, they did 3 episodes and they did 3 episodes. And man, I hope they do that because I was pumped because
yeah.
I knew it was coming out, but there was like I feel like this now March hit, and remember we just put a list together of all the stuff that was coming out in March. And I totally forgot about this. So I'd been checking Amazon Prime, been finding some gems on Amazon Prime lately, and so I was like, let me jump on there and see if anything. Look around.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of stuff like set aside in my little watch list, and that was like the first thing that popped up, and I was like, oh my god. I felt bad for Erin. She's like, oh, fucking more superhero stuff. She was cool. She watched some of it with me, and she would work through some of it.
Mm,
I was like, I gotta watch this stuff. I gotta talk about this stuff on the show. It's important.
they got you. Yeah,
Uh,
it's for work.
yeah, it's for work. But
So
yeah, so I definitely recommend it. Hopefully next week we get 3 more, but if not, I'm curious to see what happens next for sure.
cool. All
All
right.
right, guys. Well, that's it for Invincible. We definitely recommend check it out. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think. What are you excited about? There's definitely some surprise stuff that goes on, so I'm excited to get some reactions on that too. So leave some comments below when you see this and let us know what you think.
Cool.
Peace.